go. They put me all the way up there. There we go. I don't know why I did that. Alright, that's a little bit better. Alright, welcome to 2024! Yeah, it's a new year. And, well, there are things predicting it will be our doom! Not really. Look at the predictions! But we're here to draw. You're here to watch us draw. That's what we're here for on this stream. If you didn't know, that's what we're doing. Yep. We're going to draw. We're going to cover topics. I welcome everybody to join in on chat. Still on the way for Twitter to interact with chat yet. I guess I can keep an eye out for anybody who messages on Twitter. But yeah, we have YouTube, we have Twitch. YouTube's still acting weird on our sort of chat box, but hey, we'll get it straight eventually. But we're back. We had a disastrous December, between technical issues, family issues, which were not pleasant ones to go through, but luckily we averted a major disaster in the family. That's kind of why we went dead silent for the month of December. It also didn't help that I had the flu last week, and yeah. But we're back. We're gonna be doing some art. We're gonna be doing some Demon Blade tonight. I know I said I wasn't gonna show anything until we got to a certain point. That certain point dropped Sunday. So, yeah. The point of Tetra showing up with blonde hair to shock Ruth into waking up is sort of the big moment at the end of this chapter. We are nearly done with this book. In fact, the page we got in front of you is the third from last. So if I move my head a little bit, you can see, yeah, at the 3. You can see the one above, and we'll be working on that as well. But we're going to work on this page a bit. Then we got 2 more to finish up this comic. Next week we'll be doing some witching. Starting this weekend, witching's going to change. We're going to be doing it 1 page a week like we do with Demon Blade. Mainly due to just complications. I don't know if I'll break it down to chapters anymore. Simply because it's just an ongoing silly comic of the day. Well, not even comic of the day. Just silly comic. That I hope people will enjoy. It's not getting as much attention as Demon Blade, but Demon Blade has been technically running since 2013 on the internet. So, and technically running since 2007 in print form before. So, we had this planned a while ago. And we've been slow on progressing due to personal stuff and whatnot. Personal commitments this new year. I'm going to be trying to be better with my health. That's part of the scare that was with the family. We had an individual, I'm not going to mention who, but a very close member of my family had a triple bypass. Yeah. Gave the family a scare. More so because that was taken care of in November, right after Thanksgiving. I mean, literally right after Thanksgiving. But yeah, right after it, we had them go to the hospital. They had their surgery, and then they caught pneumonia on top of it. And right after we did our Pluto stream, I mean, minutes after the Pluto stream, I was getting the call that was the call that you dread with family members or people that close that says, this individual is likely to die in the next few hours. And it's like, oh crap. And so we had to plan everything. Our Christmas plans, what we were going to do as a family, and everything. Around the possibility that this individual was not going to make it. But they became what the doctors are calling a miracle case. So they're back on their feet. They're not fully out of the hospital yet, but they are alive and kicking. And we are absolutely blessed with that. I ended up becoming matriarch of this Christmas, cooking up a storm. Sorry, I gotta have some hot chocolate. Need something to keep me up. But yeah, I ended up having to take over duties that my mom usually takes over for Christmas, which is the cooking, the prep, all that. And it came out relatively well. I made way too much food. I don't know my ethnicity, but I'm pretty sure there's some Italian in there somewhere. Or I picked up some of my brother-in-law's Filipino habits, because his family way overbears. They get a ton of food. So but it's Christmas. It was Christmas. Things that came out for the better. So we're happy about those developments. I went with the wrong layer or spot. All right. So, a couple things to address. We're changing the schedule around. After the stream, I'm probably going to do the change on Twitch for the stream schedule. We're only going to be doing 4 streams here. And I mean, it's not like we're going to go to other platforms. What I mean by streams here, we're only going to do 4 a week on Twitch, YouTube, and Twitter, with everything also pushed over to Rumble. I don't know if we have another agitator yet. We're working on it. So you can catch us there. God damn, my glasses are making the eyes weird. All right. But yeah, we're gonna probably make the change on the schedule for Twitch. What's going to be is Sunday and Monday, nothing happening. In the past, we kind of made this announcement before that we were gonna probably make gaming just one night, which is Fridays, where we can dedicate the most time to it. So gaming's only gonna be Friday. Dining and Doodles, it's still on Saturday. It's regular time. Drivel Draw, and also Lesser Look. Everything's going to be at 8 p.m. now. Mainly because it's easier to make sure that all the technical issues are fixed. And make sure we have things up and running properly. I literally was trying to plan out if I can't get the mirror box, which is how we stream our gaming, if we can get that working or not, and what to do if we don't for Friday's stream. We plan to keep going with Yakuza, but it's possible that we end up playing something different. Because Mirrorbox was acting horrible when I tried to get things going last time. But we've got a schedule. We're going to keep to it. I'm also going to be trying, like I said, take better care of my own health. It didn't help. I got the flu on Christmas. Yeah, wonderful Christmas present. The flu. But it's past. It's out of me. Kind of my own fault. I didn't get a flu shot this year. I was dumb, and I just didn't ask for one when I could. But yeah. I actually am looking forward to Dining and Doodles this month or this week. I got a couple of interesting Dining and Doodles episodes coming up. One that we've had requested that will be February 12th, because that'll be the closest we get to Valentine's Day for Dining and Doodle. I did make an announcement. It kind of got hidden on people, but I revealed what happened to me that was the crime I was a victim to. It's kind of hard for me to say it on YouTube and on Twitch because they don't like to use the terms, but we're going to dub it SA. Yes, I was at the time in my car on Valentine's Day last year, living in my car, and a guy broke into my car and committed SA on me, and also physical, a big PA. So, yeah, that wasn't a pleasant evening. I didn't sleep at all. As soon as he went away, I was able to trick him into giving me his phone number. And I immediately gave it to the police. Such a fool. Such a fool. But, yeah, it's been a traumatic experience. And I might talk about it more in the future. But, yeah, that's what I've been dealing with. That was a very tough day. I literally went to work. My boss said, "Why the hell are you in here if that happened?" And I was like, I need to distract myself. Because if I don't, I'm going to be in worse shape. And I mean the lowest of the low shape. And basically that's kind of what we got. I'm trying this, and I realized I changed the freaking plot at this point. Well, not the plot, but what happens to the characters in this point. I wanted to tell it differently, so I changed one little scene, which actually, if I go to this page, it's this top page. It's this top panel. So you have Tetra explaining what words Ruth's father stated that made Tetra make the decision that Ruth is alive. And yeah, originally when writing this, and in the 2013 run, you were never supposed to know Ruth was alive until much later in the series. But in the process of making this, I've been like, I really want to tell things a little differently to where people aren't dumb about things. So that's why I made Tetra come out so quickly. Because originally she wasn't going to come out until later in the series too, as trans, but it would be, heavily intended. But no. When I got to Tetra's backstory, I was like, no, we need to tell it. We need to tell it. And it changed some of the plot line, but in a good way, in a good way. As my friend Brandon would say. Speaking of which, tomorrow night we will be on Septum Sin versus the World, reviewing Sins or Garden of Sins anime. First time I'm watching through, and about partway through, I'm like, wait, is this connected to fate? And yes, it's connected to fate. How? I don't know. But it's probably the bloodiest part of fate out there. But it's good. And I mean, it's UFO Table. So I can't argue over the quality of the animation. Because UFO Table, especially on this series, put a lot of work into it. But I'll leave most of that to tomorrow night. If you want to tune in for it, if you have your own opinions, join in the podcast that we do on Septum Sin versus the World. Usually the last Wednesday, but we're changing it up a little bit. Plus, nobody wanted to do it on the week of Christmas. So we were all like, yeah, let's do it New Year's. So that's what we're doing. That'll be tomorrow night, provided nobody has drama that causes a delay. But hey. And our anime review this week for Lesser Look is going to be a lot of 2023's animes that we did not get to because we'll do one more review of 2023 next week, and then we will be hitting the new anime of winter. And I don't know. I've got one title that I've seen so far that'll reach the 3 episode limit by that point. I don't know if it's good because I haven't even started it. I've been watching, Garden of Sinners is, don't be deceived by it being 10 episodes. Oh my god. The episodes are like 2 hours long. If anything, I gotta give that a fault. As well as I give one other knock that I noted in our Facebook chats of the group. I was like, I'm gonna deduct points for this on this. But yeah. The last anime we're gonna talk about Shangri-La. I think it's probably a great show to end on, and that'll be next week. But this week, I'm going to cover most of the anime I either wasn't streaming at the time for, or the anime that I didn't have time to add to the list. And I mean, that's a lot. We're talking last winter into early fall anime that I did catch. I mean, I'll talk about free Rin, and I'm not limiting it to smaller titles. It's gonna be the bigger titles. You'll see me review and quick Oshinoko and Trigun and a couple others that, frankly, amazing year for 2023. In anime, it a lot of hits, very few misses. We'll even talk about some sequels, because yeah, anime of the year right now, Vinland Saga. I'm sorry. While I love Oshinoko, Vinland Saga, story wise, just beat it out. And I'll say what I'm giving. I'm not going to give the same anime another, award from me. Choice. I'm going to be like, okay, you're winning this. I'm going to give it to somebody else. Another one to somebody else. So, and I'll explain my cases. Sometimes I do not draw Maya's charm enough. It's important though, and that should actually. It's too thick. No. Bring it down. Like I said, I have Witchin coming out weekly now, simply because doing it monthly and trying to release 16 pages a month on top of Patreon requests, commission requests, and Demon Blade. And Demon Blade's actually, I gotta say, I don't know what fell into the water, but Demon Blade's gotten popular all of a sudden. It did not have the viewership it's getting now. I don't even remember. How was my shirt? I know I pulled a few pages. Okay, she does have the black bar. Okay. Basically did Ida's design on my shirt. Sort of gave me sort of developed Ida's design off of this shirt that I designed for my. Although, I'm going to treat Witchin the same as I do Demon Blade. New parts and chapters. They're going to wear different clothes. I don't like my characters going around in the same outfit from beginning to end because it makes no sense. They're people. Now, some of the characters, like Lori, who are dead and have outfit specific to them, they may continue to be drawn as they are. Another character that'll be introduced, that's technically the fourth Blade summon that has never been revealed. I'm still working on their design, but they're gonna pretty much change outfits. I think they're gonna be the only one. Well, no, the fifth summon also might be. Yes. For the record, there's 6 currently planned summons of the Blade. On top of my. So 7 total. There may be more. I haven't fully finished the story in writing. But I at least know where it's headed. I have halted my writing anymore because I'm in like chapter 75 in script, and we're just about to start chapter 10. Problem being, I'm already redrawing the cover to chapter 10. We drew it out on stream, and I realized both the comic pages and the cover were coming in too small for publication. So it's like, crap. I gotta make them bigger. So gotta redraw the cover, which to me is better because it was kind of cramped. So now I can do a little more detail. We'll probably be drawing the cover not next week, but the week after, maybe on stream, or at least working on pages by that point. Hopefully, of 10. But yeah, Witchin, we'll be diversifying between Witch and Demon Blade on the stream. That's why I was like, next week, no, we're not gonna do 10 art, but we will be doing Witchin next week. I'm gonna try and stagnate unless we get to a point that I don't want spoiled of either. There's not much with Witchin currently that I can think of down the line that I'm worried about spoiling. But Demon Blade, yes. Next chapter, not so much. But chapter 11, hell yeah. Chapter 12, oh yeah. 14, 14. All right. So 2013, we had a run where we did monthly for 24 issues. 14 did not exist in that run. It's the backstory of Yoku. So we're going to be getting Yoku's backstory in chapter 14. So I don't want to give too much. It's Yoku and Mai's backstory. So the two of them together. There will be elements left out on Mai's, of course. But you'll pretty much know who Yoku is by the end of 14. Why he is the way he is. Which is good. The villain of that arc really needs to have that flashback moment. Have we hit? Not yet. Okay. So we've not hit our time to hit our first topic. Which the theme with all but one is, of course, do and how we're all screwed. Actually, we should. Oh, I'm gonna be well over these. I'll choose one that I'm gonna turn away. Not the one I was thinking about though, because I've decided with this stream we're gonna have at least one weird news story a week that we're gonna cover, and I don't want to get rid of the new weird news because it's funny. It's funny. It's sad this week, but funny. Sad because it's a victim of a crime. Funny because of what the crime is and how it was committed. But yeah, there are elements I would love. I mean, part of me wants to make Demon Blade a light novel at some point because I don't think I'm going to be able to draw it all out unless it gets to the point where I'm making money off of it, which I'm nowhere near. Nowhere near. But it'd be nice. I also changed a few things with my rules of what I'm going to draw. So we've had an issue before with masking art that people request. We're no longer going to be taking new requests for that because, frankly, I don't like it. I'm not a fan of it. And frankly, I'm tapped for ideas. I'm open to, hey, whatever you're into, you're into. I have no problem with people that want to do it. Not my interest. And part of the problem has been they have dominated my following. So it's just been a strain for me to do that. But let's cover a news topic because we can now. So close it. Predictions of 2024. Now, this is AI prediction. Or basically statistical predictions that they brought out for 2024. So let's see if we are doomed based off of the calculations. All right. Forecasts for 2024. Aviation industry fully recovers from COVID-19. Well, that's not surprised. Total solar eclipse is scheduled. Likelihood 80%. I don't think we've gotten to the Mr. Burns moment of altering the sun. Okay? I think that's 100%. All right? I think that's 100%. COVID-19 epidemic phase begins. Likelihood. Gold prices reach record highs. Yes, I believe that's going to happen. Bitcoin gathers bullish momentum at the end of the year. So it's done it every year. So that's not that hard to predict. El Nino continues. No kidding. Again, you can't change it. It's gonna happen. OPEC expects global oil demand growth. No. What? We're gonna have demand for more oil? I'm so shocked. All right. IEA anticipates global demand. All right. You just counteracted your own point. Generative AI growth slows down. I can believe that. We have a lot of people in panic from last year about AI. There's the whole issue that dropped literally last few days that Japan's going to start translating through AI, which thank you, Japan. We can stop having people edit their story or the story and scripts. Now we just need a dubbing facility that treats the anime the same way. Yeah, it's going to put some people out of work. But frankly, if you're editing the story when you're translating it, then you're not putting out the story. So, not happening. All right. Winter in North America exceeds below average snowfall. Not surprised, it's El Nino. It's that kind of stuff happens. Up to 110 million people globally need food assistance. Not surprised. USD 300 million Asia cable link. No clue about that. SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket carrying a lunar lander is launched, conducts 10 science. The likelihood should be higher on these. These are known things. NATO conducts the largest drill, 80%. Yeah, probably because we know they're going to do it. global production of farmed shrimp grow. Now, that I don't know, and I frankly don't care. Computer sales rebound. I kind of see that, but we kind of need more competition in the computer chip market. Volcanic comet 12P Pones Brooks makes this close. All right, again, 75%. It's 100. We can guarantee the damn thing's coming here. There's no ifs, if, or buts. We aren't that advanced. R21 vaccine start rolling out. Meta releases celebrity AI chatbot service. I can believe that. However, it will fail like everything else that Meta does. So, worst renaming of your company ever. Honestly. People complain about X. Honestly, that's better than going by Meta and completely screwing things up from then on. Have to just merging. All right, we're just gonna go through. Let's see. NATO finalizes strategy to collaborate southern neighborhood, like Middle East and North. That's always questionable. Renewable energy becomes major global energy source, surpassing coal. Doubt it. Very, very much doubt that. That is not likely. They say likelihood 70%. I guarantee you it's reverse that. It's 30%. Now, if we wanted to talk nuclear in that, then yes. But no. Wind and solar are nowhere near that. No. Global solar capacity. Yeah, I can see solar getting better this year, but it's not going to be that way. Hydro vehicles? Swedish truck maker brings out hydro? Yeah, I can believe that. They've been holding off on H2 vehicles for a while, which would be great. Or hydro vehicles. NASA launches lunar program. NASA needs money to do that. Space Entertainment Enterprise launches a film production studio. No, that ain't happening. You're saying 70%? That is absolute bullcrap. No way. First commercial hydrogen electric flights. That I'd be a little more questionable. Yes, on cars. I don't know if hydrogen is going to be good for planes right now. I could be wrong. I'm not a scientist. Digital Service Acts, I can believe this. Basically, they're going to start making, copyright protection for people to be protected from AI. So I can believe that happened. European Space Agency. No. They can't agree on which side of the road to drive. They're not going to get a space space department for Europe in general. Hell no. Learn to decide on which side of the road you're going to drive on first. Okay? New prosthetic models convey senses and feeling. This, I not only predicted, it's in my book, 11 Kingdoms, that I'm trying to get publicly put out this coming year. I know you said last 2 years, yeah. But I'm actually in talks at this point of getting it done. Yeah, I mean, the fact that some of the models I've been seeing and reviewing, people are able to sense and feel heat and cold. And it's amazing. First manned mission to Mars. It's a 6-month travel. And I don't think we have anything set now. They'd have to leave before June to get to Mars. Artificial muscles and used in robots, that I can believe. New prosthetic models can base. We already had that one. Okay, blah blah blah. Let's see. We're coming across a lot of repeating ones. Predicted, yeah. I mean, this is the boring stuff. I wanted to come in quiet with our first one. Let's see here. I'm looking at some of these here real quick. All right. I don't need to know that one. I'll cover another one while we're here. And this one's a little more fun. If it'll load. There we go. Will zombies come to the future? Can science actually create them? Never doubt what science will unleash. We learned that with COVID. All right? Never doubt what science can unleash. Will it be zombies? I don't know. I know Science Times is trying to make an article here about it, but I highly doubt we're going to have the zombie apocalypse. However, I do not doubt that we may have the robotic apocalypse that was promised to us by Terminator, because we're getting awfully close. So, yeah. Lots of technology upgrades that we're going to get this year. I'd love to see it. But, yeah, no zombies. Sorry, folks. No zombies. You're going to have to put that in the back burner. Maybe eventually. Just not this year. Sorry. All right. We're going to go back to our comic. But, yeah. Just seeing the stupid AI predictions there. Because that those predictions, those percentages, were done by AI. So AI predicted things that are guaranteed. They're gonna happen. We're gonna have a solar eclipse. It's scheduled. And it's not like we're gonna be able to stop it. There's going to be a comet that flies by. We're not gonna be able to stop that. So it's 100% AI. 100% that's gonna come. So, yeah. Just the world. It's a sigh for the world, honestly. I do want to go ahead and say, support some proper people to help out Japan. They've had an earthquake, and just a few hours ago, I know it's going into Wednesday over in Japan right now, but yeah, they've had a plane catch fire. Unfortunately, 5 Coast Guard individuals lost their lives. At least 5. I don't know if it's been updated. And a bunch of people were injured when a commercial flight over in Sapporo hit a Coast Guard plane. Yeah. Coast Guard plane was a toast. Commercial plane burned. Luckily, all the passengers on the commercial plane did get off. But some of their conditions, we don't know how well they're going to survive. Because you look at those pictures, oh, wow. I don't know how they got out of it. I really don't. I would have been flipping out. I'd be like, what? What? The plane is literally engulfed, and you want me to go through these flames? Ah. I probably would have passed out anyway. I have asthma, and I'm not very good in stressful situations. But yeah, I don't have one at this moment for the earthquake support. I'm waiting for a decent group to suggest any support for them. Don't just willingly give money to people without knowing where it's going. We kind of learned that lesson over December with other creators. Wonderful decision to never give over money. And a lot of scammers are also out already trying to monopolize on Japan's sorrow. So, yeah. And also, my heart goes out to the family that lost their lives in New York with the bombing that occurred. I don't know if the bomb actually went off, but they got hit by the car that was carrying a bomb going into Rochester. So, the old haunts of my former roommate. Hope she didn't know anybody that was at that event, because that would have scared the hell out of me. I would have been like, what? Let's cover the topic a little bit. So the topic being world-ending scenarios, it gets predicted every year. Somebody predicts the end of the world, so and so, and the media runs with it. It's part of the reason we chose the topic for tonight is because NASA put that threat into us. And we'll get to that story probably next, where NASA kind of terrified the world a little bit, being like, oh, there's a chance we could be hit by a meteor. Yeah. Thanks, NASA, for causing us great panic. But as the great George Carlin once said, Earth will survive. The people, now, we're screwed. But Earth will survive. It's I'll talk about it. Yes, I'm trans. I watched the what is it? I watched Dreamers on Netflix, which is Dave Chappelle's latest show, and a lot of people would be like, oh, you're trans, and he's insulting trans. Like, No, it's comedy. It's comedy. The man is a comic genius and legend. All right, it he is telling a joke. If you can't take it, grow some skin or don't watch it. That's all I got. I was cracking up personally. I loved it. I felt Chappelle every freaking one of his latest versions have been hilarious, and I make no objections to anybody calling out on that because dadgummit, Dave's funny, and I appreciate his humor, even if it is a bit too risque at times. But I mean, I grew up with Dice Clay. Come on, I mean, Carlin. I mentioned Carlin. Carlin was the problem. Williams, Robin Williams. He was not a clean comedian. He was a vulgar comedian. He was clean on television, except for HBO. When he was on HBO, you could let it fly. But he was not a clean comedian. That's the problem. Is we get too sensitive about things. And for those who don't know, yes, we will be playing Hogwarts Legacy at some point this year. It is on my docket for this year. We got a couple of ones we've not played. I kind of want to cover Cyberpunk, but in both cases, and as well with the One Piece Odyssey, I don't want to do them until we have a better system in place, which is coming. It's coming. We're working on putting it together now. But we're not going to be streaming those until we have something, either PS5 and the computer setup done a little bit better, or a better computer so that we can stream properly with Steam games. I would probably get an Xbox, but I'm holding out. See, this is the part of me that's fallen in love with Bethesda, but knows that they're gonna freaking screw it up when they release the next Elder Scrolls game, because you know they're gonna freaking screw it up. They always screw it up. I hate to be that way, but I mean, I'm hoping that in 2024 we're finally getting companies to learn to don't release broken crap and then patch it later. Give us at least something that's semi-complete. And I mean, in the case of Cyberpunk, you know, not to the point where the game breaks. I know, it's a lot to ask for these days. But, geez. I mean, just something. Plans for the game if we don't get Yakuza up and running, I'm probably gonna run. I don't want to go back to Stardew. I don't want to go back to Stardew because I've not been able to get the mods working properly from where we left off. So I've had to completely redo the game and still can't get the mods properly working. One particular mod that we were playing. Others, other options. I'm thinking Chrono Trigger. It's cheap right now on Steam. I might throw in playing Chrono Trigger for a few weeks just till I can get the mirror box working or a replacement for it. Because that little piece of is really, really made things worse. Actually, we're gonna switch pages. But we're gonna do news in a bit. Let's see. Let's go ahead and do the news. Let's go ahead and cut it, and then I can get the sketching the next page here. So, next part of the news. Window capture. What does Nostradamus? Okay, the infamous Nostradamus, the, what was it, 12th century prophet? Let me see here. Oh, no. Published in 1555, so 1400. Well, no. 14th. No. 16th century. Always got to forget that the centuries run one ahead of the year starting numbers. All right. So, endlessly reinterpret centuries. Nostradamus predicted everything from the Great Fire of London to Hiroshima and Nagasaki. It's seriously, you gotta really read into them. That's the catch. So what does he proclaim for 2024? We don't need Nostradamus to tell us violent storms and well, duh. Every year there's going to be a storm somewhere, and there's going to be a problem somewhere. Dry earth will become more parched. He predicts in one quatrain. There will be great floods. So they're thinking tsunami, allowing for disease and starving. It's questionable. It's, again, you gotta read into it. We're in an El Nino, so storms are gonna be a little wonky, especially in the summer. Winter for the lower, hemisphere. But tsunamis, yeah, we had, what was it, a 1 meter tsunami out of the earthquake on Japan yesterday. So maybe another tsunami around. It's really hard to predict. We still don't fully understand how tsunamis are formed because they can become a tsunami without an earthquake. It just happen. It's rare, but I mean, it's not always guaranteed that we're going to know what caused the issue. A confrontation with China. Well, no doubt. China is going to make its move on Taiwan. That's pretty well known. China's been threatening it literally over the last few months. It's going to happen. Royal tumult. Honestly, England, why the hell do you still have royals? Why the hell do people give a crap about the royals? I don't know. A new pope. The pope's old, and the pope is not really that good. Anyway. And that's it. So, new pope, royal tumult, which I don't. Well, yeah, he does say the King of Isles. So the King of Isles would be England. So, yeah. I mean, Charles old, and honestly, he doesn't look good. I mean, the Queen looked far better than Charles is now. And she was a short, spry old lady. Charles, bleh, bleh. Sorry. Just, if you're from England, your royals suck. You should have known this for years. This is why America left you. The jilted lover. Ah! No, America's the stepchild that said, screw you! We're going to go do our own thing. It'll be better than yours. And so far, yes and no. But yeah, let's get back to the history, the art. All right, we're going to. Good, you guys can't see the actual code. All right, we're gonna get to the actual art. We're gonna sketch this out. So I'll explain what's happening here. In this scene. So Tetra explains what Frank Turtle explained to her about his belief that his daughter was still alive, and non sort of magical way, because Frank at this point doesn't know about the magical stuff. And Kaji offers his assistance for the future from him to help out the Blade Master and Mai. So Tetra and Mai. And Ruth does the same in this last panel. So that's Ruth saying she wants to help out. So that's what's going to happen in that page. So this is going to be sort of Tetra accepting. As you can see in the last panel we just drew, Mai's going to be a little more cautious, which notably I don't object. I mean, hell, I wrote all of this. But, I mean, Mai is a very emotional person, despite being very cold at the same time, in some ways. And we'll see her coldness come out after chapter 14, because she's going to start being a little more cold and distant for a little while. But yeah, I mean, personality wise, Mai's not going to trust Kaji fully. But she's going to listen to Tetsu / Tetra, tell her, hey, we need all the help we can get. Tetsu / Tetra needs to learn the real threat of Yaku, which is next chapter starts me having to draw 3 chapters of action. I mean, I've been looking forward to it. I've been looking forward to it for 3 years. And I finally get to start it probably about summer. We'll probably get to it in summer, because there's going to be build-up that we got to go through at the beginning of chapter 10. So don't expect the action to hit until later half of the year with the comic. And that's just the way the story goes. I think what I'm going to do is Tetra, sort of. accepting. I want to draw Ruth hugging her, but at the same time, I kind of put me in a bad spot that Tedra's got big boobs. And she's not hugely, she's only 5'4". I'm trying to remember what I put them at. I think they're 5'4". In height. My is taller than Tetra. And my I think is 5'6". I could be wrong. That's so I can make, some characters, some villains and all that taller. I mean, it goes by the One Piece logic. Of you make your villains big and overshadow the hero so that the little guy takes down the big guy. The David and Goliath moment. I mean, that's why you usually see Luffy. I think Luffy's like 5'11", which is about my actual height. I think he's around that. I could be wrong. I know he's in the fives. But then you have characters like Don Flamingo. I think is like 9 feet tall. And it's like, what? What? How are you freaking 9 feet? But it's the exaggeration. I don't like how I just drew that head. Or where I drew that head. I want her to have a little bit of a neck outstretched. So we're going to put the head a little bit up here. But yeah, we're getting to the end of the chapter. It was mainly to introduce Ruth and Kaji as characters that are going to be around throughout the story. Kaji and part Ruth have a key role to play due to the curse, because it affects them. It affects Kaji, who in turn affects Ruth, since their souls are bound. And it's part of my research when I go through and wrote Demon Blade. I researched a lot of mythical concepts. So Tetra and their curse connection is they're bound literally by the blade and its curse. Kaji could technically, in some way, release Ruth from the curse, but because of her accident, it's sort of a Tetsu situation. So when he got the blade, well, she, because Tetsu's trans, but when they got the blade, they got stabbed in the chest in an arterial vein, as they mark in episode 1 or issue 1, that Tetsu would die if you remove the sword. So there's no giving up the sword as it is, but there is at least a way that they're going to be able to have sort of a separation a little bit. That'll come where the story ended in 2013, which is after my dad's challenge to Tetra. after that challenge, the next story, the second half of the next story, because there's 3 villains that are different sets of villains, because there's technically multiple villains in the next arc. And that arc ends with a way for the curse to be less intrusive on Mai and Tetsu. Mai can actually, have a physical body when Tetsu has their physical body. So that's basically what it is. And they'll be able to no longer held by that 20-foot rule that was indicated in chapter 2. So, yeah. Yeah, let's make Mai a little more. She's a little more pissed at the situation. She is not happy at the end of this chapter, but she understands that Tetsu's or slash Tetra, that they're trying to be better and try to find the more equal way for them all to be free. And that's ultimately the bigger challenge here. They're going to be villains, come and go. Yoku's always going to be a problem. But it's going to be the curse. And the curse is the problem. Both to them and eventually it'll be pointed out once you get to Lori, and who's already appeared. That's why I can talk about Lori. She's appeared in the non-canonical stuff we've drawn, and she appeared in the 2013 series. She appears right before Mai's father's story, The Witch of Lies, the Lightning Witch of Light. And a lot of story has been developed for Lori, backstory. And another character that I will not spoil. The character already exists, but they have a connection to Lori. And that'll be played out. I don't do, and I kind of want to do more of these sort of larger figure splash page, well, splash panel. I'm gonna call them splash panel because they're not a full page. I might do 1 or 2 splash pages in the next chapter and end at 11. Maybe also in 12, but pretty much gonna be in the sporting events of chapter 10, 11. Because it'll be funny ways to show them off. Minor cutoffs. Even though it's fall in freaking Oregon. Mountains in Oregon. At that. In the story. That's done. And as I've said before, the locale of Winchell is technically Fort Hood, Oregon. I don't know if I've actually gone through Fort Hood. I've been through Oregon, and I've been through Portland, but that was years ago. I would not want to go through there now. But I chose this because the Japanese population, really. Plus, it's more fitting for to have a cooler environment to be in because she can't handle heat. It would have been disastrous for her if it was more like sunny California or Arizona, someplace like that. It'd be torture. But don't worry, there's going to be some heat because that area is also volcanic. Oh, that's right. It's a short cut, crop top. It's a crop top that Tetra was wearing. That's important. I mean, I need to think through when I start drawing Witchin chapter 5 or part 5. That is of Witchin. They're gonna change outfits. You might see me on stream actually develop Ida and Abigail's freaking outfits for that chapter. They'll probably still follow their color scheme a little bit, but not worried too much about it. 10, I kind of know Demon Blade's outfits. Next chapter, I know there's going to be another cheerleader outfit for Tetra because Mai is going to repeat and Tetra is going to protest. He's like, I've got 2 of this outfit now. Because the outfits don't disappear. Mai's literally changed most of Tetsu's closet by now. I know it was noted all the clothes that Tetsu brought to Japan in the early chapters that Mai had eliminated all of them by the time they get back to Oregon. Let's have her gritting her, sort of clenching her fists. A little Arthur shake. As the internet has come to call it, even though it's been around well before that episode. I believe, yeah, it's a little long. Nah, probably longer than that. I'm trying to remember how far I wanted to get Tetra's hair with this transformation. It's pretty long on page 32, so let me bring that up here. So yeah, it goes about butt length. So I need to note that when I draw that length. Did it? Freaking mother! Good thing it was a sketch. All right, we'll do a close up of Mai being pissed. But Tetra knows the way to appease Mai. Unfortunately, it's going to be bad for Tetra's stomach, but it's the ways to appease Mai. It's usually food. So, Mai being your typical shonen character, except female. Yep, that's how I write them. Maya's the typical shonen protagonist. Likes to fight, wants to eat food, dumb. I mean, there's some anime. I mean, there's a lot actually. They got rid of the dumb. I mean, some are idiot savants, but I'm sorry, folks. I can't make Goku or say Goku's smart. The man's an idiot. He never went to school. He's an idiot. All right. Let's do not a. We'll do an angular thing here, and we'll do a little scene of Ruth and Yoku, or not Yoku, Kaji. Happy. Because they get to be a part of thing. The problem that was at the start of the chapter has been resolved. Not the very start of the chapter, because the very start of the chapter, that's gonna be a while. That's called placing a seed for very, very much later in the story. Receiving have her little hands up a little bit, shaking, but pleased. Maya's gonna be kind of crumbling. She'll eventually warm up to Kaji / Ruth. Kaji and Ruth. Excuse me. They are separate. They are separate entities. They'll warm up to them. I do have a chapter later that they kind of have a heart-to-heart that occurs within that same multiple villain story arc. That occurs right after Spring, Mai's father, sort of comes into play. So yeah. Getting messages about through the anime group for tomorrow night's podcast. I don't know what's being chatted, but that's when we review Garden of Sinners, our first and hopefully only look into the Fate series, because I like Zero and Unlimited Blade Works. I have tried to watch and understand, and I think that's my problem. I think I need to just switch off my brain to get Fate to be something enjoyable outside of those two series. And I think that's probably the problem. I feel Zero and Blade Works sort of set us up for more of Ren and Emiya, and we kind of just sideline Emiya and all of the Fate stuff, from what I understand, and you have the multiple versions of Ren that are told over and over. I mean, hell, freaking the sister in Gardens of Sin is a Ren clone. I mean, ugh. I mean, I get it. She's best girl in, Blade Works, but honestly, freaking just create a new character that is not Ren for a change. Just do it. Just do it. Just do it. Do it. All right. We're gonna get to little stories. All right. First, we're gonna cover the last one. I want to close/stop whatever the hell I'm showing here. Nope. Close it. Close. You son of a... Close. Trying to read the freaking article. Alright. NASA confirms if lost, asteroid will hit Earth in 2024. Yeah. If a previously lost asteroid, the rather catchy name 2007 FT3, could hit Earth next year. Which, no. This year. We're now in 24. So this year, we could still get hit by this asteroid if it shows up. There are no known asteroid impacts on Earth at any time in the next century. Well, I mean, that just tells you right now that the one they predicted or put the threat for, I think in 2029, that they're like, this could hit us. It's gonna be the closest asteroid ever. But they constantly release that like 3 times a year. And by close, they mean maybe it'll reach our orbit. Maybe. It's still miles. I mean, almost a million. Couple of miles. Oh, well, almost a billion. Yeah, 300 million miles from Earth will hit the Earth orbit. That's what they're saying. This asteroid may get in our orbit this year. That's what they're actually saying. Now, the news is going, no, this means we could be hit by an asteroid. Oh. No. It could enter our orbit, which means we may have a new mini moon. Hey, Sailor Mini Moon. Call it Chibi Moon. But yeah. It's worrisome when you lose an asteroid. All right, it's 341 meter in diameter. All right. Not worried about that. People are like, oh. Something that size will likely break up and burn up in the atmosphere. It would equate to 207 or 2,700 megaton of compression. Basically, it's saying 15 kilotons. So it's saying the equivalence of 15,000 tons of TNT. That's a lot of explosion. But here's the thing. The damage area of those bombs weren't large. The problem was they were put in a very population-dense area. And then the fallout. If an asteroid hits, which technically would be a meteorite by then, the fallout is negligible. there might be dust in the sky for about a day or two. That's about it. It's not as problematic as the Nudia plays it. Now, that being said, like I said, every stream that we do of Drivel Draw, I'm going to do a weird news story of the week. This week, well, comes from the golden state of weird news, Florida. A Florida woman had found out her driveway was stolen. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, someone stole this poor woman's driveway. Why? How didn't, alright, basically. Let's go through the story. A Florida woman says someone randomly stole her driveway as she's trying to figure out who's behind the act. Amanda Brochu of WSVN, or told WSVN, the concrete driveway was ripped from the ground outside her Orlando residence in December, leaving her appalled, and it came after she placed to her home on the market and decided to revamp the roof and do upgrades on the property. So basically, she got scammed by a contractor. The contractor took the driveway. Why? We don't know. I don't know what kind of use you get out of old concrete slats, but if you go into the point of stealing someone's driveway at this point, I mean, it's a crap ton of concrete just sitting around and just dirt fields. I can explain to you that. I mean, that's going to be the dump sites for the cinder blocks that they don't use in building. But you're stealing freaking driveway? It's not like this woman can't just drive in the dirt. But I understand the frustration that you got conned. You got conned. But your driveway gets stolen. I mean, I've heard of house theft, but that's done in paperwork. This woman physically had the driveway stolen. Okay, so they basically, the cops, let's see, the man apparently gave the contractor Boshi's address and identified himself as the landlord. So the real criminal here is the guy that's claiming to be the landlord, because I don't think he is, from the sound of this article. She was trying to put the house on sale, and so this person saying the landlord told them, "Oh, pick up the freaking driveway." Oh, jeez. Talk about a gut punch. Now, I mean, she's raised more money to cover the house repair that she wanted to do, and then some. So, in the end, she wins out. But, you have your driveway stolen. And I know people that watch in other countries where driveways don't exist, where, you park in the car and the road if you have a car, or, if you're like me and live in an apartment, although technically I have a parking spot, so, and I have a car, but, yeah, a driveway is usually something that may be real fixed, but you don't usually tear them up. You kind of just use them as stuff to hold down the new driveway. So I don't know what the ingenious plan is to do with the driveway parts. It makes no sense. But that's our weird story for the day or for the week. Enjoy it. We'll have something new next week. But yeah, how a driveway gets stolen. The only thing I could think was somebody was doing it to get her to hire them as a contractor to build a new driveway. That's the only way I think the scam could have worked. But it doesn't sound like it even got to that point. It sounded like somebody's just really, really dumb. Because a lot of things expensive. Concrete ain't one of them. Concrete's just rocks, water, and sand. And last I checked, those are still in quite large supply. Considering that's what the earth is made of. Anybody will do anything just to make a fast buck. That's it. I mean, there's sad truth of the world. This is gonna be shorter because, yeah, we're not doing 3 hours on this stream anymore. I'm gonna try and keep this the same length as Dining and Doodles, which is 2 hours plus, and this is gonna be 2 hours plus. If I feel I want to go over, I'll go over, but tonight is not going to be the case. I'm tired and I still got to do Technic stuff for the stream. But yeah, and it's fun to be back. I'm noting plan to keep doing these streams regularly. We'll be streaming Tuesday through Saturday at 8 p.m. with the exception of Wednesday. Which Wednesday will be freaking, what is it? Septum Sen Birth of the World. We'll be doing those at the end of the month. Maybe. I have to say maybe because the schedule flops around so much. But around 9:30 is when we air. That time even schedules. Time even flops. So I can't even say that we'll be on time then. But the current plan is Garden of Sinners tomorrow. Current plan. Unless... Oh, okay. Yeah, we're hitting a few different ideas. So we're also changing up who chooses what and when they choose it. My choices won't be until July. But we're going to each take 3 months out of the 4 of us that are on the show. We're each going to take 3 months in a row. Starting with Jacob, because his birthday is in February. We're going by birthdays. And what he's hinting about, I am all for. I want to rewatch it. It's a harder series to get. To my knowledge, it is not available online, but I'm all for it. It's one of the series I hold on to in manga format because it's a series you don't see anymore. Surprisingly, considering the creator and their famous not infamous. They didn't, to my knowledge, they have not done any crime. To my knowledge. Now, maybe these days they might consider some of what they've drawn and some of the characters. Well, no, definitely some characters. Criminals. I mean, definitely some characters are criminals. But yeah, I won't reveal it. But I just took a look, and yeah, I'm all for it. I'm all for it. It's a series I wanted to cover. Personally, I'm leaning towards doing some Gintama. Probably. See, what I hate about it is if we cover the first season, it's not the best of Gintama. The best of Gintama is probably second to third season. On. First season is the rough start. It's good. It's good. It's enjoyable. And there's some great jokes. But the jokes just get so much better later. And I kind of want to do a silly series as my options. I'm probably also going to make them watch Violet Evergarden because Brandon and Jacob have not watched it. And I'm like, what the hell? Why have you not watched Violet Evergarden? It's not that challenging to watch. No. And my third choice, I don't know yet. I want to do a series that is not on streaming and not on video, and I don't know why, considering the series, and that is Berserk, the original Berserk anime. I do not know why no one has that property. The problem there is I don't know how we're gonna get to watch it, because it's that hard to get a hold of. The same with Gintama. I'm looking at probably having to get a knockoff on eBay to get a hold of the full series, because not even the first DVD is available without stretching the pocketbook. Let alone, this is the greatest part of the grievance, because I got into it literally on New Year's Day with Gintama again, because it suggested the New Year's episode of Gintama in the 200s. So you're talking later Gintama episode, and it suggested it to me on New Year's Day, and I watched it, and I was just, about wetting my pants funny. It just, I could not stop laughing. And for an anime that's subbed, not dubbed, which it has a season dubbed. And that season, I think, is the first. It gets some of the decent jokes, but a lot of Gintama is either wordplay or fourth wall breaking. And a lot of it's jokes about Shonen Jump. So the more you know about Shonen Jump, the more you get the joke. There's a lot of One Piece, Naruto, Bleach, and Dragon Ball jokes It actually, anime-wise, when it started, and I was watching it when it was started through pirate means. Yo ho ho. Uh, it aired alongside of Bleach. Literally. They'd have. I know I have a couple episodes on DVD burned. Where you have the intro. Where you have Ichigo and Gin talking to each other. It's kind of like a power hour of shonen, and you'd have Bleach and Gintama as two polar opposites. Bleach being overly dramatic and action heavy, and Gintama being hugely satirical. And it makes you note everybody talks about Big Three. It's Big Five. It wasn't Big Three. It was Gintama, Hunter x Hunter, One Piece, Naruto, Bleach. It wasn't a Big Three. And I really should correct people more on that. That when they say, "Oh, the Big Three," well, no, it's Big Five. Big Five. Because you had those three main action anime, and Hunter x Hunter fits in it. So 4 action anime. One Piece being a little more humoral. And of course, being the big series these days. And then Gintama being comedy. So, but I mean, Gintama has some action moments. I mean, it takes place in the same timeline as Kenshin. And we will talk about the Kenshin and the review Thursday, the remake. We'll talk about 2 remakes. We'll talk about the Urusei Yatsura as well. Well, actually 3. I forgot. Trigon. We're definitely talking about Trigon. Because Trigon is on my list of top anime. Just damn. I gotta give major credit to that one. Because it told me that Japan can do 3D. I'm not saying they'll always get the results of Trigon, but they should. But yeah. Well, we'll definitely be talking about Trigon. And yeah, the studio behind them, I'm gonna keep an eye out to see what they do next. I know the anime man. Well, I don't want to call him the anime man because I know he doesn't like the name anymore. Joey, from Trash Taste. That he did an interview from one of the guys at Studio Orange, and it was promising some new things coming down the line that I'd love to see. But going into 24, I'll talk about it Thursday. There's something that disturbs me for 24. Titles coming out. I mean, there's some titles I really am looking forward to, as well as new seasons. I don't care about Demon Slayer as much as we're going to talk about UFO Table tomorrow. Demon Slayer, it had its end, and it's getting close to that end in the anime. So I'm not as greatly invested. I will watch it, but I'm not invested. It's kind of like me right now. I'm trying to finish up the latest season of Ancient Magus Bride. I already finished Jujutsu Kaisen. I knew what was going to happen in Jujutsu Kaisen, so I wasn't too surprised. I was just kind of like contemplating where they were going to end the show for the season. If they were going to show the two hunters after our wonderful protagonist or not. And they showed one of them. They didn't show the other one. I'm still reading through the current or that arc in the manga. I'm slowly reading it. So I don't know what happens, but I've been bothered by the fact that I'm trying to remember her name. The female member of the three. The one that in the manga it was established she was dead. However, I do have to state Itadori. That's our protagonist's name. He survived a death earlier. So I don't know. I haven't read to where she comes back if she does. But I know in the manga, they said she's dead. In the anime, they said, oh no, she's alive. She almost died. So, is that a departure? I don't know. I know in the manga, they said, oh, she's dead. She's no live. Let's do a pout. Let's do a pout. That's what's bothering me here. Let's do a pout. We'll even blow out the cheek a little bit, which is good because the face kind of wasn't doing great. That's a little better. I kind of made this face before. Kind of was making that face a little bit earlier today when I kept dealing with a customer. Well, I don't actually have customers, but I have people, government-wise, that I got to deal with. And one of those people is trying to force me to do something when I'm like, it's in the mail. It went in the mail before Christmas. I can't vouch for the mail service. So, I'm sorry you haven't received it immediately within about a week. It's all I can say is it did go in the mail on this date and it's gone. Now, if it doesn't show up, then I can do something. But I have to say, give it a few days. You can't just go immediately. Not the way they went. So it's like, okay. And I mean, while I've had a rough year last year, it's been a relatively good one. 23 has been relatively good. It's had some serious rough parts. Like I said, the essay that occurred to me at the beginning of the stream, and if you don't know what I mean by essay, I cannot say the actual word, but in order to keep streaming on some platforms, but yeah, we had become a victim of essay. back in February. And yeah, that on top of the next month being a witness to a vehicular homicide. Yeah. Two really, really dark moments. That came along with a decent job, new place to live, and working on becoming the better person from the results. And ultimately, the reason why I'm going to say that is we're changing how we're going to close these. I want to sort of say, in the past, we would always be like, I wish you have a wonderful week, a wonderful year, so and so. We're not going to do that anymore because sometimes life sucks and you're going to have a hard time. And so instead, we're going to say the following. I wish for you to be the best you that you can be. And the reason I say that, the best you that you can be, is I heard a story the other day where someone was upset that they're not as good as this person. And I'm like, you can't be that person. You cannot replace their problems, their goals, their pain, what they've gone through. So you cannot do that. You are not that person. You will never be that person. You can only be you. Doesn't matter who that is, but be the best you there is. And that's especially being a new year. We talk about self-improvement. We don't talk about what real self-improvement we need in our lives. And that's why I say, and I'm going to say from now on, be the best you that you can be. And I hope you all have a wonderful evening. And we will see you again, well, tomorrow night on Septum Sin of the World. And back here on Thursday to talk about a bunch of anime. So I thank you all for joining in. Good night, everybody.